Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Just 2019 World Indoor Bowls Championships live here at Potters Leisure Resort. First game on this morning, All England affair, Mark Royal versus Scott Edwards. Of course, we've got 4 games on for you today. Throughout the day, we start again at 2 o'clock with Robert Paxton versus Ian McIntosh. After that, straight away will be David Gawley MBE versus Simon Skelton. And the game on this evening at 7:30, Jason Greenslade versus Craig Rimington. Of course, we've got some fantastic match officials that work here for the World Bowls Tour. And your officials for this game, well, we're seniors back in force now. Umpire is Mike Davis, marker Alan Thornhill, and on the shot clock is Francis Fletcher. I'd like to hand over live onto the rink to Richard Baird to introduce our players.
Well, good morning everybody, and a warm welcome to the International Arena here at Potters Resort for this, the first round match of the World Indoor Singles Championships for 2019. So, let's meet the players. And our first player is from Peacehaven, is hoping to break through to the world's top 16 this season. A former national singles finalist, your appreciation for the world number 18, Scott Edwards. Bit of heavy stuff there. Enjoy the match, Scott. Good luck. And this world number 13 has climbed swiftly up the rankings after some impressive results over the last few seasons. A former Welsh Masters and Grand Prix champion. Your appreciation, please, for Mark Royal. And your commentators for this match is Janice Gower and Darren Burnett. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning, Richard, and thanks for that introduction. First game of this Wednesday here at the World Championships. And we've got an All England affair, Mark Royal versus Scott Edwards. Scott's featured in all of the World Bowls Tour ranking events, really, for the last couple of seasons, as he's been ranked 1 in the PBA for the European rankings. And as Richard said there, he's just outside the top 16. Currently on the ranking list we have here, he's actually 17. So great chance here if Scott Edwards can take a scalp here off Mark Royal. But Mark's been playing very well so far. And as Richard mentioned there, I'm delighted to be joined in commentary by Darren Burnett. Welcome back into commentary, Darren.
Looking forward to a good game here between the two players. Quite evenly matched, I would say. Mark has been playing well at this event so far, but Scott, it's another opportunity. He's had 1 or 2 over the past few years, and he'll be keen to try and get a run in this event, boost himself up the ranking list.
Not a bad opener, just dropped short. It's running quite quickly, as you know, we've mentioned over the last couple of days, and getting the lines isn't too tricky, it's getting the weight. Mark choosing to play down the forehand. Most players seem to be opting for the backhand in both directions. Mark's found this forehand very well. He found it in the pairs. They got to the semi-finals of the pairs, did he and his partner Andy Thompson. Good track again, but I think he's just pushed through this one.
2 red.
Just overplayed. Mark sticking with his draw here, just trying to get another one in. Good track again.
3 red.
We do play 2 sets of 9 ends and if necessary a 3-end tie break. But even so, you don't really want to be dropping a count on the first end. Scott looks better here.
Great ball.
1 green. 1 each.
Mark will probably just keep his hand. Any turn of his own ball, he could turn it onto the green one. Turns it onto the jack, it's just as good. See just how much that hook's under there with the, even
One
with the relatively firm weight he played it with. Still tries to pull under the target. Not much room for Scott here.
No, but having faced 3 down, I think he'll be quite happy with getting shot at this first end. Either hand really, it's just a wide draw. Left-handed Scott Edwards.
One shot, Scott Edwards.
That's not a bad opening for Scott. Lay 3 down until his 3rd delivery. Scott's always one of those ones I like his player profile because he occupation poker player. And of course Mark Royal works for Potter's Leisure Resort here. He does the road shows for them out in his van with stock of bowls and clothing.
Jack length, 29
any sort of bowls
metres.
equipment. So he actually works for Potter. So there's always a little bit of pressure on Mark. But playing very well this year, Mark. Settled.
Scott's immediately pushed this jack long. Looks like a good opener. Quite unusual to have 2 left-handers playing against each other.
Yes, you're right. It's not often seen.
Mark immediately switching hands. So a nice track here, it's all he's running. Just needs to make the trip. Just going to pull up, I think.
1 green.
Of a loose end,
2 green.
but it's hard to explain, probably to the viewers at home, that it is such a tricky surface this year that, and also depending on where you put the jack, as to how easy it is to get back to centre.
Yeah, this length they're playing now, I would say from most players practicing, this is the one that most are finding it difficult just to be right on. You know, Mark's not bad here and he's probably going to help certainly, but it still bends away there.
Still slightly favour 1 green.
See how much Mark's ball hooked towards the underneath the jack just as it was arriving. It's not natural, not normally how that hand plays, and I think that's what's catching the players out a little bit. Certainly out in a nice line. Has he got the run in to pass the front balls?
He's urging it on. No, short.
One shot, Scott Edwards.
So 2-0.
Set score 0-2 after 2 ends.
The Bristol tones of Mike Davies. Mike arrived last night to join the team. The 3 trialling officials have finished their duties for this World Championships, and we'll await to hear how they've got on.
Jack length 29.5 metres.
Well, Alan Thornhill doesn't like me saying the senior officials, but we'll go for the more experienced of the World Bowls Tour officials. The 4 now last through to the finals. Because Alan Thornhill himself has just received an award for 20 years service to the World Bowls Tour. He does say that he only started officiating at 5 years old, so that makes him 25. Now, if you believe that, you believe anything.
Players definitely rely on the officials at these events, and up and down the country at your own club, I think everybody would associate with a good marker, makes for a good game. Somebody that you can rely on and let the game flow. That's what we're all looking for.
And again, 2 loose bowls. Concentration levels on a surface like this have got to be so focused with every bowl sent. Better yet, can it run?
Mark switching onto this side as well. Just trying to come round Scott's last bowl. It's all about pace. Good enough.
1 red. 2 inches past Jacko.
It's not easy for Scott here to get to that bowl. Just needs to rely on getting the right line and just drifting past his own short bowl. As Marks has passed the jack, it's possible to rest on it, but it won't look good from the mat. Now.
Played it.
Got it perfect. Got it perfect.
1 green.
Yeah, great shot from Scott. He came down the inside line on that. He was definitely a lot tighter on his last. Played it just a bit firmer. Trusted the hand, and he played it absolutely perfect. Difficult for Mark now. Not the same shot for him. can certainly come inside the green one with a bit of weight, but he's only got one in there. Quite rightly going to take his time out, I think.
Timeout called. Mark has 4 timeouts remaining.
Difficulty for Mark is now that the natural draw down the side he probably wants to try and draw it on isn't really there. The green ball in the front's probably stopping that angle in. But he does only have one red ball in the head, so not really one you really want to attack.
Changing hands now. He's got the job of slipping round his own short bolt. There's a good yard there though. Shouldn't affect it if it's on the right track.
Good effort. Another ball in relatively close, gives him options, maybe he's last.
I think it's third.
It's third bowl. It means that Mark's got 2 seconds at the moment. So in Scott's head he'll be thinking, I need to get another bowl in there. Well, Mark's got the takeout shot. Looks decent.
Very well played. Half went together though, so
2 green.
I think we might see Mark run at this. He's got the respot now.
Yeah, both bowls would go, and any jack movement would favour Mark.
Just a firm runner. This will start to hook under. Needs to get the bowl, then the jack. He's unlucky. He's unlucky. Stunned onto the jack. He'd be lying 3 shots now.
One's got 1 shot. Scott
Got
Edwards.
the first part of the target right. It just didn't spin onto the jack.
Set score 0-3 after 3 ends.
Bit of banter between the 2 players. Both play quite a reasonable amount of bowls on the circuit. Play in different tournaments. They also play in the Grand Prix at Lincoln, so they'll face each other quite a few times over the
Jack
season.
length 29.5 metres.
Yeah, I remember starting off in my early stages of my career against Mark at sort of world junior level. I won't go back and say how many years ago that was, but Mark's one of the gentlemen of the tour. Really, just gets on with it, quiet, but he has quite a dry sense of humour, which I like in Mark.
Trademark of sticking his tongue out the side of his mouth when he delivers a bowl. Does it every time.
Two good openers here. I think that one view of that bowl coming in just lets the viewer see just how much the bowls are bending back. Most indoor surfaces you would probably have to come inside the green bowl to draw that. Mark's actually drawn round the outside. Comfortably fell in for a shot.
Good reply here. Both got a bit of support out there in the crowd. Nice crowd in this morning. venue here at Potters is excellent for viewing the rink, and it's also great because outside you get to bump into some of the players and officials and get to ask questions.
1 red.
I went for a latte this morning, Darren, and
Just slightly past
faced a
inch
question
and a half.
and answer session, 5 questions on the way to the bar. It was, but it's good that because it's people asking questions that they might not have had chance to ask before. One of the questions I got asked this morning was a player allowed to follow their bowl up after they've played it? See Scott strolling after that one here. And yes, because in the World Bowls Tour rules, when this bowl comes to rest, Mark's then got 30 seconds to deliver his bowl. As long as Scott's at the head before the shot clock starts, which is now, they can actually come up and down after every bowl if they want. I think that would be just too exhausting for me, Darren. But it is important to know, because obviously in ordinary singles play that you may play at your clubs, you might only be allowed to visit the head after your 3rd bowl.
Gentle.
One green.
Oh, he'll really be disappointed there. We've seen that a number of times over the week though, because the surface is so quick. Any little touch on the jack and it springs.
Yeah, Mark was just trying to get another ball in the head there, and unfortunate for him, he's just touched the jack. Big opportunity for Scott now though. Bonus 1 if he can add another. Only leaves Mark 1 ball to reply. Taking advantage, I think.
Yep, done enough.
2 green.
Mark's going to run these balls if he's coming down this hand, I think.
Body language thinks that he might be a bit wide with this.
It's not
he's
far
making it
away.
back.
Not far away.
Might have cut it down to 1.
1 shot, Scott Edwards.
Well, it's been interesting, really, sitting in
Set score
commentary over the last
0-4
few
after 4
days,
ends.
and certainly through the singles games, there's been a lot of ends that it's just been 1 shot that's counted. I think that might be the nature of the surface.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very hard to just, you know, be consistent with your 4 bowls. I mean, I rolled up to tea with Greg Harlow, and
Jack length
I think
29
we only found
metres.
about 1 dot in the green where we could put 8 bowls within a couple of feet, which is what you would hope for normally, but it's certainly more of a challenge. I mean, the surface is running well, it's running slick, fast, the hands are swinging, but in doing so it is making it more of a challenge for the players. Difficult just to make small adjustments. You know, if your first one fails, you know, by a 18-inch 2 feet margin, it's difficult just to make that adjustment. This is an end I think Mark will want to get on the scorecard. Doesn't want to drop too many more ends in this set.
Good here. We've still got 5 ends left to play, but ends start to disappear from you once you get to the middle point in a set.
Nice line again from Mark. Just doesn't want to fall off his own. If he can just sit on top of it, that'd be the best result. Bit unfortunate.
2 red.
Going at this target, you can see the jack.
Well, Mark's still going to be line 1 on the respot.
One red.
Now let's just see how close Mark can get to this respot. He's going to be right out to the edge, as he is, on his pace now.
Like I was saying earlier, they're both left-handed players, so they can get different lines to the right-handers out to these respots.
It's a good ball from Scott. He certainly didn't take as high a line as Mark. Great ball.
1 green. Gap is 8 inches.
Another single to Scott Edwards.
1 shot, Scott Edwards.
Set score 0-5 after 5 ends.
Scott got through a round last year here at the World Singles, got through to round 2. As I mentioned before, he's been through in the Scottish International Open and the International Open. Consistent player, plays a lot of singles games. Does play team stuff, but probably known as a singles specialist.
Jack length 29.5 metres.
I mean, one good end for Mark Royal here would turn this game around, Darren. It's interesting. I mean, Scott scored at the first 5 ends, but only singles. So, you know, if Mark could pick up a 2 or a 3, it would certainly put him back in this first set.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he's lost 5 ends, but as you say, he's only lost 5 ones, so 1 good end, and he's back in the set. He certainly wants to score this end. That's the thing. He wants to get on the card, perhaps change the jack length back to something he would rather be playing. Good start.
Line.
Mark trying to repeat his first delivery here. Takes a nice big swing off this side. Comes round now. He's in for 2.
2 red.
Sticking with the draw here, Scott. Track looks okay. It's all in pace now.
Sits down, it might still be 2 red.
1 red.
Just a 1, but there's the opportunity for Mark to just touch the jack here. Things on this surface you don't want to play to touch the jack, you're more just playing to try and draw again and hoping that you touch the jack.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw Mark earlier in the set just come down with too much weight and pushed it too far. Just be trying to draw a shot here, but I think he's just underplayed it. Slightly disappointed with that mark. He would have hoped to draw in at least a second, put Scott under a bit more pressure. Having a closer look now to see
No, it's close. Apologies. I would slightly favour 2. It's very close, Scott.
Scott's out on a decent enough track. Is he any further than his last?
He's urging you to. If it sits off his last bowl, not quite. Well, this could be the turnaround end we spoke about.
Yeah, it's a possibility. Mark's drawn for 3 here. Certainly went wide enough. He's given this plenty height. Very close, it's on his weight.
Just needs to settle.
Half a ball too far.
Well, 1 declared.
Two shots, Mark Royal.
Now that 2 shots just in one end makes a big difference to this set, because it means that
Set
Mark
score
Royal's just
2-5
3
after
shots
6
behind
ends.
with 3 ends to play, so just shows how all those singles of Scott Edwards, they can be clawed back.
Jack length 26 metres.
Slightly shorter jack from Mark.
Nice wide hand, this forehand. Mark's played it well so far.
Good opener.
Don't forget, if you can't stay with us, we'll have all the news and reports on worldbowlstour.tv. Of course, we've got more games coming up for you today.
Change of hand for Mark. I'm just not sure he's sent this. His line's okay.
Can it get a little wiggle off his own bowl and sit down?
Not far off. Always just leaves you slightly exposed when you're just short of the jack. Scott can come up here and just turn the jack. Makes a big difference.
Well,
1 green.
I know how many times we say that the 7th end of a set is a key end. I think this is one of those moments, because Mark's just got back in the set, scored a 2. Positive bowl from Mark, needs his own.
Elected to try and run that just to get the ball out of there or open it up and give himself a chance. I'm pretty sure Scott will just keep drawn in.
Yeah, if Scott can slot another in here, Darren, it'll put Mark in all sorts of problems in this first set. Only 2 ends left to play. He'd have to change something, and he's only got 1 bowl left.
Good effort. Just going to run past slightly, but puts Mark in a bit of trouble here, really. Don't think he can attack this now. It was only 1. It's only 1 green. I really think Mark has to maybe go back and try the draw. He can't afford to put the red onto the green and onto the jack. He would be in real trouble.
Timeout called.
I'll call in a timeout, and I think this is the point where we say timeouts are good to use because it's such a big bowl as part of this set. To take his time over it.
He's back to the draw. I think it's the right shot. His track looks good. Just overplayed. Good effort.
Gives Scott something to rest off though, if he can rest off Mark's last bowl. 2 shots. Looks a good height.
Good enough.
Yeah,
2 shots, Scott Edwards.
7-2 up now, 5 behind Mark Royal.
Set score 2-7 after 7 ends.
Yeah, good last ball from Scott there. Sometimes can be important in these sets, particularly at this level, that you make these extra shots count when you've got the opportunity.
We've not had any shocks in the singles draw so far. Mark Royal seeded 13 in this event.
Jack length 28.5 metres.
Not a bad opener again by Scott, just a couple of feet short. Don't forget, if you have got any questions you'd like me to put to Darren while he's in commentary with me, or if you'd like to let us know where you're viewing from. I'm sure there's a few viewing from Oxford and District, as well as Suffolk, where Mark's from. So it's good to hear where we've got viewers from.
Just looking to put this one in close, make it difficult for Mark to score a multiple end. He wouldn't mind dropping 1. This is pretty good.
Just rested in for
One red.
shot there. Of course, one isn't enough for Mark Royal here. Really needs to be counting 2 or 3 to give himself a chance going into the final end.
Scott's good here.
Scott's good again.
One green.
Coming down with fraction of and Mark, this is really difficult. Very, very difficult shot to play. He's in the area for a connection on something. Oh, he may have got the shot back.
He's given himself a chance with his last bowl. Depends on obviously what Scott does with this. Could be 2, but a little trail on the jack there now would give Mark a decent count.
Yeah, he's definitely given himself opportunities there. Scott will be aware of that.
Timeout called. Scott has 4 timeouts remaining.
It's almost like Scott's got to really play the shot first and just try and come in there and be a positive draw. If he turns the jack, hopefully he'll go with it. Can't afford to leave this.
Just the one at the moment, but there is the big opportunity for Mark Royal.
Certainly a decent place here from Scott. He'll be happy with that. Definitely makes it harder for Mark.
One red.
One of these shots where Mark will be trying to draw a second. If he can just turn the jack a few inches towards his red balls, he may make a 3. First goal will be to make 2 for sure.
Oh, can he just touch this jack now, Darren?
It's very close.
He's close. Oh, what a great effort. Oh, has he taken it too far?
Super ball from Mark. He's definitely made 2. Close for 3.
Yeah, 2 declared.
Umpire, please.
He's quite right to call for a measure there, Darren. If it's close,
Mark.
it's
Don't know that.
great chance, really.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you're not sure, then the first thing to do is get the umpire on.
2 red. Measure for 3.
All will be revealed quick enough. But what a super effort for making a 3 there, Mark. If he hasn't made the 3, he's been very unlucky.
Mike Davis, our umpire, called out. Measured the red bowl first, then he'll go to the 2 green bowls. Looks like it might just be the 2.
Two shots. Mark Royal.
Well, he'd have liked that to have been 3. But still 3 to play for in the last end. 3 to tie, 4 to draw.
Set score 4-7 after 8 ends.
Yeah, he's back in with a chance. Just while the jack's been rolled, we have had a question regarding practice times and how much maybe the top players will practice either before an event back at their club or during the event. So the simple answer to that is at the event, then most players are allowed 2 sessions a day just to make it fair and allow everybody use of the carpet. So these sessions are 30 minutes a time, 2 players on the rink practicing together. So you'll try and get 2 of them a day. Some days you may just get 1 slot depending on the availability. But in an ideal world, a couple of slots a day, and obviously prior to coming to any major event, I'm certainly trying to put in maybe 3 or 4 sessions at least a week, just trying to build up my game, work on 1 or 2 things. And I think like any sport, when you come into a major event, you want to try and be topping up your confidence, and if you can play a shot in practice, then hopefully if you're faced with it in a match play, then you can go out there and perform it.
Yeah, it's always a good question we get from some of the viewers about the practicing, and I know a lot of players play a lot of bowls, and if you certainly ask somebody like Nick Brett about how many hours he puts in practicing, he'd probably say not as many as some others because he plays a lot of match play. It's all about making sure you get the practice time in when you need it, ready for big events. I know certainly before the PBA qualifiers that start in September, for me personally, I'm always back in August, a couple of times a week at least, trying to practice as a build up to that. It's possible for me, I don't play outdoors, so each individual's preference really, Darren, but it's all about doing what's best for your game and making sure that you're in the right stage of bowls for when you compete at this high level.
Yeah, absolutely.
One red.
Loose ending from Scott so far here. Chance for Mark to add a second. You've kind of controlled the set. The last thing you want to be doing is playing your last boat this end with either a tied set against you or worse. So
close here again, Mark. Are you making the trip?
probably done enough, I think, for two.
Two red.
One good ball from Scott takes all that away from Mark, but he's got to play it.
All about his pace on this line.
Looks quick.
Oh, big opportunity for Mark here if he's holding two already.
All he can do is draw this shot. He can't be worried about making it more difficult for Scott. He just has to make sure he draws the shot.
Is he making the trip with this, Darren?
I think he's
to run.
probably just as far as his last, so he should be okay. I think they might still be okay. He's holding his head, but I think his front ball was in reasonably comfortably before, so decision time for Scott here. He can still draw this.
Timeout called.
Percentage shot would be
Scott
just to
has
run
3 timeouts remaining.
one of Mark's balls out of there and win the set. He's got to make his decision, what he feels more confident in.
Mark Royal, we think, is holding 3 shots at this end. The 3 shots he would need to tie the set.
I think he's pulled that under. Might catch one of them. He just has.
Oh, he's been fortunate there, really.
Yeah, I don't think he was waiting to be that far under. He knows his cell. I think
2
he gave
shots, Mark Royal. First set, Scott Edwards.
I think he acknowledged to Mark there that he thought his cell, he'd maybe just let that go slightly under the target line, but got the ball. That's all he needed.
So, first set to Scott Edwards, 7-6. Start again. Mark Royal's got to win the second set to take us into a tie-break. It's interesting there, Darren, though. I mean, Scott scored the first 5 ends, all singles. Then 3 twos from Mark. He nearly sneaked it there at the end.
Yeah, wasn't much in that set really. Scott
Jack length 29.5 metres.
probably opened the set better, scored these run of ones first few ends, and in the end it was enough to get him over the line.
got a good few viewers out there, Darren, viewing in this morning, so thanks so much for your company. Don't forget, any questions if you want to ask Darren them, now's your opportunity. Let us know where you're viewing from. Is there anywhere exotic currently listening in to us? Some great games on for the rest of the day. At 2 o'clock we start again with Robert Paxton versus Sean McIntosh. Sean qualified last year. It's his second experience out there on the portable. David Gawley, MBE, takes on Simon Skelton, the former top 16 player. And the last game on tonight is at 7:30, and that's Jason Greenslade versus the South African qualifier Craig Rimington. Stay with us for every bowl sent if you can. Getting a bit of a loose opening end. I think that just shows how tricky this rink is to master.
Yeah, I think there's going to be loose ends. It's going to be this type of jack length, almost a full length jack. It's certainly when players are practicing, that's when you're seeing the ball slightly further afield.
All the way back to the centre here for Mark.
Scott sticking with his hand, just trying to make a slight adjustment.
Looks under the line. Can it hold to the red bowl? Underline and underweight.
Yes.
Hooks away about now.
Thin edge off the green bowl. Might have done enough for 3.
2 red.
Well, just wiggled its way out.
Better here, just depends how he gets the jack though, he might still be one down.
Good save or whatever.
1 red.
Well, Mark's just trying to have a look at this to see if there's a way that he can try and cut that bowl out. There's a lot of debris in front though.
Yeah, I think this will just be a quiet draw for Mark. If he adds another, it's a bonus.
One shot, Mark Royal.
Well, Mark gets off to a start in the second set. We're at 5-0 down in the first set. Lost it 7-6 in the end. So we do have to explain to the viewers out there, though, that Scott Edwards is not what we would consider an outsider in this field. He's ranked 17 in the world, very close to the top 16, so
24 meters.
if you can tie a few games together here at the World Championships, there's extra points on the availability scale here at the Worlds. The winner of this game will play the winner of the next game up this afternoon, Robert Paxton and Ian McIntosh. All about trying to tie a few games together really and drag himself into the top 16 if he can. It's possible. Recent players to do that. We've already got a newbie into the top 16 this year, Michael Stepney. Even the gentleman sat next to me came through the PBA qualifying process to get into the top 16, so it's all about just getting to these events and getting a few ranking points, Darren, and making the most of the opportunity when you're there.
No, absolutely. You know, it's I'm sure most qualifiers will tell you it's a tough school to get there in the first place, and what you want to try and do is, when you do get that opportunity, is to try and take it. And obviously it's not easy. You're coming up against a top 16 player, but these opportunities are hard to come by. So I remember many a time at Stanley and also at Carlisle where 6-7 games of bowls were played in one day, and sometimes you fell at the final hurdle and you had to dust yourself down, pick yourself up the next day and go in the next event. So fun times, but not so sure I would do them now. But yeah, absolutely, what an opportunity for people, and it's just about trying to grasp that when you get to the event. Over the last few years, I think the first round ties have become so tight, you know, very little in these games sometimes, small margins. Certainly as a top 16 player from the other perspective, you know, many times now your first round match is probably the biggest match of the event, because once you get through that, if you can get through it, it sort of settles you into the tournament.
Oh, you've got a tough game in your first round, another qualifier, but qualified through the very strong Falkirk Scottish qualifiers, and no stranger to qualification, Andrew Barker. Played with Michael Stepney in the pairs a couple of years back. You'll have played Andrew a few times, I would think, up in Scotland.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew's played a lot over the years, and he's a quality player, so it's going to be a tough match, there's no doubt about it. And I think looking at the draw this year, there's probably 7 or 8 first round games that stood out to me that looked particularly tough, so that's what it's all about. Another kind of loose end from Scott here. He's just sort of lost his weight a bit. Could drop in for 3 or 4.
Well, psychologically, Scott's just won the first set, and sometimes you can just take your foot off the pedal. You know, you've got the backup of, even if Mark wins this set, you're going into a tie break. Players like Mark will make the most of that opportunity and try and get a decent end on 2 in.
Overplayed this again. It's a very loose end.
And 2 declared.
Four shots, Mark Royal.
I was saying yesterday about how hard it is to score a 4 at this level, and that was quite an easy 4 for Mark there.
Set score 5-0 after 2 ends.
So can Mark Royal come back to win this set, take us into a tie break in this first game on?
Jack length 25 metres.
7th day here at the championships. It's funny, there's all the build up towards it, Darren, and then the first 7 days seem to have flown past.
Yeah, it's I think once we get towards the middle weekend, it certainly does start to go quick.
Good opener from Mark.
Better opener from Scott. A wry smile from Scott in the background there. He's probably thinking, why couldn't I do that at the last end?
Well, like I say, he knows he's got the tie break in his back pocket if needed. But, he would be very disappointed in that last end.
1 green.
He's got a few friends down with him to support him. It's often good to just have somebody in the auditorium that's cheering you on. It is Perry Martins in the audience. He's currently joint ranked 17 with Scott in the world rankings. Didn't make it to this event this year, so he'll be keen to see how his friend performs, but be mixed thoughts from Perry as to whether he wants Scott to win or not. Good bowl again. Oh, Scott, all you needed was one of those at the last end.
2 green.
Mark will run the bowls here. Or he looks inviting. He is. Close. Very close.
One red.
He was unlucky not to take both green fully out. The second green bowl just turned over once. But he's played a good few runners. Been bang on target.
Timeout called. Scott has 2 timeouts remaining.
Just a repeat of the last delivery for Scott. A little touch on the jack. Get him 2 shots.
Yeah, he's obviously got all the back stuff, but it'd be a big risk. He's only got 1 green ball in there.
Well, he's a poker player, Darren, so sometimes he takes risks. Made his decision now.
Given there's a lot of thought, I think he's going to run this jack here.
Yeah, it's looking likely. Certainly watching it.
He's got it off the ball.
Got it. Respot, you can see. Gives him all sorts of...
That's live.
Could be quite a reward here. He might pick up 2 or 3
bowling
shots.
the ditch is live as well, Darren, so it looks like it could be 3, you know. Yeah.
3 shots. Scott
Great result
Edwards.
there for Scott.
Absolutely, he was brave enough to play the shot and he got his reward.
Set score 5-3 after 3 ends.
Big 3 for Scott there, brings him back into the set. He's only 5-3 down now.
Jack length 29.5 metres.
Yeah, he took his time over that shot selection and got it right. Confident play. It was a confident shot to play, Darren. It's
Yeah, I just wonder if the moment in the game was a key factor. You know, he's won the first set, so he knows the worst case scenario it's a tie break. 5-0 down in the second, and I just wonder if it was the moment in the game that made him think to play it more. It'd be interesting if it was 4-3, having lost the first set, whether he would have played that shot. He played it well.
He just had that one very loose end at end 2. He dropped the 4. Mark Royal certainly knows he's in a game out there. Close here.
2 great balls. Far away again. Just not quite going to make it, but it's another good ball.
Mark sticking with this hand as we saw before. Bowls can come back nicely off this hand. He's going deep.
Shot ball gap is 1 inch.
So just trying to make a slight adjustment on his last. Can you squeeze the jack? Makes a big difference.
Very close here. Can he get a piece of it?
1 red. Gap between 2 balls, 10 inches.
Difficult for Mark here. Not easy to get another ball really in where he would want it. You can only try and sort of draw to the back of the green balls and be in an area where if Scott springs it too far, just about there. It's a good effort. Not much more Mark could do really. There's opportunities here for Scott. It's not easy. But he's been so close twice.
Yeah, he just wants to squeeze that jack out.
Has he given it time?
That's the tricky shot to play on here, Darren. You know you just need to reach, and if you just give it that ball higher.
Good effort.
Now, can Mark make the most of this and draw for 2? Any rest off the green bowls? Doesn't want to be too wide to flick the jack himself.
Yeah, I think he's just going to stick with his hand. I mean, this is certainly the safer side to try and draw it on. You can just draw it up to one of the green bowls, sit in, cap it so fast that if you come down the other side and just touch it yourself, you could easily go 2 or 3 down. So he's sticking with his hand.
Make it past the shorter green bowl. He's got a very good chance.
One shot, Mark Royal.
Well, that shot keeps him in control of this second set, 6-3.
Set score 6-3 after 4 ends.
Been a massive change of jack length throughout the game. They've both played a similar length. Mark has been known to change things and go short.
Jack length 26.5 metres.
26.5 metres, slightly shorter, but still that middling length. card opener.
Couple of feet too far, good line.
Getting to the centre of this second set, and this is a time when Mark Royal will want to push on and try and win this set to take us to a tie break. Still chances for Scott, he's not that far behind and he can afford to tie this set.
2 inches short, Jack high.
Two inches short, so still draw this with a good ball. Just coming round the ball, just slightly overplayed.
1 red.
Good ball from Mark again, making sure he counts with it.
2 red.
Decision time for Scott. Does he stick with a draw? Or does he go quicker?
Going quicker. Oh, got a
Got the
piece of
jack.
it. Another re-spotted jack already in this game. Yeah, I think Alan's just marked his touching bowl. That went, you can just see it coming into shot there behind Scott. So there is a good bit of room there.
Just overplayed this, but not a bad effort. It's not easy getting to these respots. He's sitting
1
there
red.
with a wee bit of room. Scott will hope to draw this. No mistake.
What do you think to yourself if you've
One
actually
shot,
managed
Scott
to change
Edwards.
something with a big runner? You want to make the most of that if you left a bit of room.
Set score 6-4 after 5 ends.
Set still in the balance really. Benefit for Scott is he doesn't have to win the set, he just has to tie it.
Yes, I think we're in for an interesting last 4 ends of a set here.
Jack length 29.5 metres.
We've only been to 1 tie break so far in the open singles, and that was yesterday afternoon. Paul Foster and Damien Doubler. And that was a cracking game of bowls. Oh, there's something wrong with this one.
Just on the high side for Mark, so it was good.
One red.
Sometimes a shame that there's not the opportunity for the spectators to actually have a go on the rink, because I'm sure there's a few sat in the crowd there thinking, well, that's a very loose end, but it is so tough out there.
Yeah, and it's often the case if the first ball goes in close, the head builds up and both players sort of get their balls in there. It's amazing how often when the first couple are astray that you get an end like this. And as long as yours are closer to the jack, you don't mind it. This looks a good adjustment from Scott this time.
Just running. Can it sit down?
One red.
No. No need to change hand for Mark here. This is preferred hand on the rink, playing in this direction.
Well played.
Two red.
A big ball from Scott. Doesn't want to drop 2 or 3 here.
Similar bowl to his last, would rest that last green bowl. Any touch on the jack's good.
Very close. Is he going to find the gap? Well, saved one maybe.
One red.
He was so close to getting a little touch on that jack. Mark can stay down this side of the rink, just try and draw inside his level red one.
If he's running, he's good. I
Very
feel
light.
he's just got to run.
One shot, Mark Royal.
Well, still 3 shots in it, 3 ends to play.
Set score 7-4 after 6 ends.
Like you were saying before, Darren, this is when it's a crucial thought that Scott doesn't actually have to win the set. A tie would do him. So if he scored 1 shot at each end now, game over.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think from Scott's perspective, if he's going down the last end, just 1 behind, then he'd be more than happy with that. He just has to score a 1.
Jack length 24.5 metres.
Not a bad opener. Just chosen to go slightly shorter for jack length. Trying to catch Scott out. All on pace down this line.
Interesting that Scott's switched on to that side. He's predominantly played the other side.
Yeah, there was nothing really in his way because Mark's bowl is a length bowl. This is the harder hand out there.
1 red.
Just looks like he's overplayed this.
Seemed to whoosh out of Mark's hand.
One red.
Loose end. Can Scott make the difference for the third? Certainly on a good line here. It's all on pace. Can he make it?
Sits down, might sit out.
1 red.
Oh, the first bowl ups remained the shot bowl. Still not quite sure why they haven't stayed down the backhand, because Mark's bowl is a length bowl. For Mark now it's resting these back green bowls. Trying to sit in for 2. It's just sat out.
Well, Scott's probably got 2 seconds. Danger would be running the red ball and coming onto the jack. The respot wouldn't be good for him. Probably feels just scoring the end's good enough, so
That's where your confidence is. Drawn some really good bowls. Decide to go for the bowl. Turned his back on it.
One shot, Mark Royal.
Well, now it's looking like Mark's in control of this second set. 4 shots in 2 ends for Scott Edwards. It's still possible.
Set score 8-4 after 7 ends.
How often do we say that 7th end is crucial, and it proved it then. All started to really go wrong from the first bowl, didn't it, for Scott there? I mean, Mark put a good length bowl in, but it remained shot right to the end of the end.
yeah, and I think that's probably what frustrated Scott more and maybe forced him into
Jack
playing
left,
that
24 and a
round
half
ball
metres.
which he pulled tight. Probably more frustrated than he felt that he didn't actually beat Mark's ball when Mark had given him opportunities, really.
Shorter length jack again. Well, Scott needs to really be counting a couple of shots at this end to give him a shout going into the last end of this second set. Mark just looking to close the set out now.
Yeah, I'm sure Scott will probably be looking for at least a 2. He's not going to have the last ball at the last end, so probably looking to score a 2 here. Outside chance a half in the set. Mark's just going to try and close it down like this.
Short.
Two
Perfect
red.
line. Now Scott. Little touch on the jack. Just a trail. Oh, don't think you like that one. If it's a decent weight, it'll hold, but I don't think he's reaching with this. No, short. I think we're looking at a tie break, Darren, the way that this is. Ends gearing up.
Certainly looks like it now.
Another good ball from Mark. Another one in the head. Scott's still got the ball to just tuck the jack for two. He's played a number of big bowls in this game. Can he find one now?
Now, all in pace.
Two shots, second set, Mark Royal, match tiebreak.
Now, Mark Royal takes the second set 10-4. First set was 7-6 to Scott Edwards, so we're going to a tiebreak. This is 3 ends. I think Mark's won the toss and is just thinking about whether he takes the jack or gives it away.
First end tiebreak, Mark won the toss and is taking the jack.
Yeah, it's quite interesting that, Darren. A lot of players say about, so if we win the toss and it's our choice, we give the jack away. But Mark's been playing better on this slightly shorter length jack. He's obviously banking on himself to draw a good bowl close. Doesn't mind the fact that Scott's going to have the last bowl.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly gave himself enough thinking time there. I can't recall Mark thinking that closely about something, but he almost tried to phone a friend, I think.
Jack length 24 metres.
A lot of players prefer to have the last bowl, but if the jack length has been key, which it has in this game, I tell you what, he's knocked down a bad line here, but his weight's got to be perfect on this hand.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting concept, really, that majority of players will probably take the last bowl, but you don't want to play it. You hope it's one that you can carry down the green.
And tie break means doesn't matter how many shots you count at an end, it's all about winning the end. And as we have seen, sometimes a little bit of fortune comes into play. Only the second tie break of the 2019 World Indoor Open Singles Championship here.
This is good from Mark, if he can just get the jack and sit on it. Very good. As the games went on, Mark's just started to win the consistency battle. Scott's just started to put one or two loose ones down there.
Gap.
All it takes is one ball, though.
Very small gap, quarter of an inch.
You can still see the jack though, so his forehand, our backhand line. Just reaching to it, try and change something with this bowl. That's key for Scott now, needs to move something. He's got the receiving ball behind, as you see there. I tell you what, this was a great effort. Cracking effort.
Super effort from Scott.
1 red.
Mark knows he's in a good position though. Danger with the shot Scott's trying to play is if he just pushes through it too far, he's just got to sit. Not sure Mark will want to go too close to this.
Hard bowl to cover, really. That's the lowest count on a shot clock we've had so far this week. 2. Previous record was Stuart Anderson at 4. So just something that's always of interest. You see that certainly the top 16 seem to have total control over delivery of bowls within the shot clock. Both got plenty of timeouts to take, because you get an extra timeout in the tie break.
Similar ball for Scott. He's just got to try and come down the inside line here. Just don't know if he sent this one though.
I think the line of that was what he wanted. It's a tough shot to play because it's just that slightly reaching bowl.
It's a difficult shot to play just at that length, because on that hand, you know, if you're carrying 18 inches of running, which he's probably trying to do, so if he lands the ball with the jack, he gets the shot. If you're carrying that 18 inches of running, you've got to be down the inside track. Sometimes it'll sit past on you, other times it gets an early bend, so that's what makes it difficult. Mark knows that. I think he's just staying away from this again. Possibly trying to get into the road, but I don't think he's done that. He's possibly just too far out.
Sometimes you just really have to sit back and say, well, if you do play this, you've played a good bowl. And I'll hold my hand up. Sometimes you can't cover everything.
Yeah. Just see it sitting there. Sits a long time before it starts to move.
First end, Mark Royal.
Now, will Scott take this jack or give it away? Scott's choice at the second end to either take the jack or give the jack to Mark. Mark's taken the first end, so if Mark wins this second end, he takes his place in the second round, where he'll wait for the winner of Robert Paxson and Ian McIntosh. But the man in green out there played superb in the first set. We'll be hoping to take this game to a third end of a tie break.
Jack length 29 metres.
Pulling for Scott to get this one in as close as he can. Early in the game, his first ball was pretty good. Something looks wrong with this. It's like he's lost his weight.
Temperature changes in the auditorium, which can change the pace of the rink. Notice even in the commentary position here, Darren, it's just started to go a bit cooler than it was earlier, and that can affect the pace if you're just not quick enough to adjust.
Mark's on a great line here. I think he's played a very good opening ball.
No, that's 5 inches past Jack high. Gap is 4 inches.
needs to make the trip on that line. Just start to dive under now.
Mark just trying to improve the situation. Start to swing back towards the jack now. Will he leave a target though? Will Scott play a runner?
Oh, that's very inviting, isn't
Two
it?
red.
I just feel it's a stage where Scott's drawing weights.
That one.
Scott's
2 inches
drawing
short of
weights
jack
left
high.
a bit. I think he really should consider gambling here and running the jack.
Well, often when you get to a tie break and your opponent sets up a target like this, a ball either side of the jack, it's the ball to play.
She's sticking with a draw.
Trying to rest one of the red bowls. Now, can it run? Reach the red bowl and sit off it.
Stays up, he has a chance. He's done well to rest the red and not fall back on the jack.
Favourite last bolt, Mark. 1 green.
Well, Mark Royal still got 2 bowls left at this end. Again, it's just a question of if he can rest his own bowl, but if he could tuck the jack, we'll tickle on the jack.
Nice shot for Mark to play here. It's on his pace for getting back now. He likes it. Oh,
Urging it on.
he's just going to sit. Well, there's not really anything Scott can do here to improve this. Just far too dangerous. He could give the game away, so he may elect to just try and draw down towards Mark's last bowl, so that if Mark does get the jack, then he's still got a chance of
Timeout's called.
scoring.
Scott has 2 timeouts remaining.
There's absolutely nothing that Scott can really do in the head here without running the risk of losing the game, so I think it's draw a couple of feet behind here. Say to Mark, well, if you get the jack, then I've got one waiting round there.
Well, could be very dangerous if he got too close to this. It's a bit like the last end, really, where you're just saying, well, you play the shot, Mark, you change it.
Yeah, he's come deep. You can't fault him for that. Possibly deeper than he wanted to be, really. You can't see Mark playing it with that kind of weight, but there's nothing he could do at the head, Scott, there. He just had to leave it. Match winning ball from Mark Royal. Didn't seem to like it from his hand.
Looks on a very wide line.
I think he's just overplayed this on the wide side. His weight was good.
Well, last end of the tie break
1
here,
shot,
and,
Scott Edwards.
slightly different rules apply. You can kill or nominate to kill the end. Exciting times. Scott played a really good bowl there.
It's probably been the type of match where, to be fair, it's probably fitting that it goes down to the last end here.
Yeah, Mark's choice of jack length, or choice of whether he casts the jack or gives the jack away, and he's chosen to take the jack. Like I say, it's been key in this game, the jack length.
Jack length 24.5 metres.
Only one rule change in this end of the match is that both players can nominate to kill the end. They can nominate to kill the end as many times as they want, but once they've killed it once each, that's your limits. So it does add a different dimension to this end, that if things are building up against you, you can nominate to kill the end and it'll be replayed, but you can only do that once per player. And sometimes in the heat of battle, players sometimes forget.
Yeah, we've sat here in commentary a number of times, haven't we, Darren, saying, come on, nominate to kill, and you ask the player afterwards and they say, oh, I forgot we had that.
Both players looking just for that one key ball that would put the other player under pressure. Mark's coming in on a great wide line here. Can he make the trip?
All on pace here. Oh, just lacking.
1 green. You are 14 inches past jack high.
Choosing to stick down this wide hand.
Just fraction over the pace, not a bad effort. Still room for Mark Royle though.
Now, just looking to pass his own bowl here. He's urging this one on. Now, are you making the trip with this one, Mark? Urging it on again. Can it run? Needs to run. Oh, I don't think it's made the trip, you know. 1P Alan Thornhill will let us know shortly, no doubt.
2 green.
2 green.
I think Mark will be disappointed. I think he thought he was going further than that there. The difficulty for Mark at this end is he doesn't have a ball past the jack, so really if Scott can play one good ball
Timeout
here,
called.
right
Scott
onto the
has
jack,
one
or
timeout
somewhere
remaining.
close to the front of the jack, Mark's in a heap of trouble.
We might see that nominate to kill come into operation.
Still think there's too much room. I think really Scott should close this off.
Well, he's not done anything silly. He's kept away from it. Like you said, I think he was looking for something a bit closer than that. Now, Mark is a superb draw player. Can he just adjust? Touch of weight, a little bit of murmurings in the crowd. They know that this could be the last bowl for Mark Royle.
Mark's going to try and add 18 inches of weight. He knows his line's been perfect twice.
Line's good again. Now,
So
what's your weight like?
he's certainly
steering it
further.
back.
He's further.
He thinks he's too far, I think.
He's not bad here.
Can we get an edge off something?
I think he's drawn this.
Well, he's done it. Another one of those little wiggles that we're getting this week.
1 red.
Scott, that was always the danger. If Scott had got a ball in there where Mark's is, it was making the degree of difficulty much harder.
Big pressure bowl that from Mark Royle though at that stage.
It was.
Timeout called.
It was, but
Scott has no timeouts remaining.
he knew he was good twice for line. He just had to make the slight adjustment with his weight. Scott now has to probably consider playing the running ball here. He's not. I don't think he's nominated to kill, so to be fair, he does have a good chance on the respot anyway.
Going for it. In the area.
He looks under. Looks under. Oh my
Oh,
goodness,
he's got some
what a
luck.
result.
We say that sometimes luck can come into the
Third end
equation.
and the match. Scott Edwards.
Scott Edwards has taken the tie break 2-1. A little bit of fortune, he was in the area with that, but it was very, very fortunate. Mark Royal, the first seed to drop out of the tournament. Thanks for your company this morning, Darren. Enjoy the rest of the tournament. And don't forget, folks, coming up again for you, 2 o'clock, Robert Paxton versus Ian McIntosh, David Gawley, MBE versus Simon Skelton, and the final game on today, Jason Greenslade versus Craig Rimington. Thanks for your company. Join me again at 2 o'clock.